morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hopefully, y'all are doing well. We've got not like the biggest Tuesday we've had. There's been bigger college basketball Tuesdays, I feel like, but still a pretty solid slate, top to bottom. Can't complain. A lot of good games. So we've got some college basketball tonight. We've got Luka Doncic revenge tonight against the Dallas Mavericks. I hope we can only hope Luka gives them like 50 points tonight. I mean, that would just be great. We have another golf card this week. Need that. Yeah, Ryan, I will. So the only reason I didn't post for Mexico is because I was in Vegas. And so Wednesday, which is usually when I post golf, Wednesday was the last day of the conference I was at. And obviously it being Vegas time, which is 3 hours behind where I'm at now. So, by the time the conference ended, at 6 or 7, like 6 o'clock out there, it was pretty late Eastern Coast. And then there was like an event at the end of the conference, super nice spot at Circa. I think it was called the Legacy Club or something. It's like really nice rooftop. And Ryan, your boy, your boy was not in his right mind. That's all I'll say. So I was not giving out golf picks because God only knows who I would have been giving out. So that's the only reason I didn't post golf last week. This week, we're back on normal schedule. I will be talking golf on stream tomorrow, and we'll give out some golf plays. Yes, I was not able to, I would say, last week, but it's like an okay tournament this week. But I kind of like some of these smaller tournaments a little bit, just because more guys get in the mix than your typical tournament. But then next week we have like a really big elevated event tournament that a lot of people will be playing in. And then after that, it's the players. So we're in a good little stretch for golf here. Masters is kind of right around the corner as well. So we'll definitely be hitting the golf streets. Mitchell, what's up? Hitting the golf streets pretty hard here. And also spoiler, I will be live in person at the US Open for golf this year at Oakmont. So we'll definitely be hitting the US Open hard. That's at the end of June. I'm only attending the Sunday round, which is the final round, but obviously we'll be dialed in since I will be attending. Oh, also I have another announcement for you guys. I don't know these people really, but SoBet. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this. Again, I really, the name kind of sounded familiar, but I don't know much about them. But SoBet is running a capper tournament March 1st to April 1st. It's like a $5,000 prize pool. I don't really care about the prize pool, but apparently I'm in this capper contest. So you guys will be able to follow along with me through that. Hopefully we can make some noise. I've been wanting to do this for like ever. I would love to like just compete in this. I don't really like. That's really why, like I said, I don't care much about the prize pool. I mean, it's cool to like be able to win some money, but like I just want to compete against people. So I will be in this capper contest. Apparently, I'm talking to them tomorrow, so I'll let you guys know more. But it starts March 1st, so it's coming up pretty quick here. I'm pretty sure there's going to be like a live leaderboard. There's some pretty big names in this from what I've seen. Not anyone I don't think that I know personally, but people I've heard of. So I think there's like going to be a live leaderboard and stuff. It seems like a pretty cool idea, assuming that they do it properly. So like I said, I don't know these people, but I'm talking to them tomorrow, and apparently I'm in this capper contest. So you guys can root me on in that, I guess. Should be fun. If it goes like it's supposed to, it should be fun. I think it's a cool idea. Like I said, I've wanted to do something like this for a while, so should be pretty fun. Yeah, what else is there? Oh, yeah, LUKA. So, I mean, we can only hope LUKA, I mean, just did you guys see that? Like, again, did you guys see the video of him at practice? He looks objectively skinny, so I don't understand what the Mavericks were like if anyone should get traded for being fat, it was Zion Williamson. Like if Zion if like how absurd is it somebody got traded because they were quote unquote fat? Like or Debo Samuel. Debo Samuel have if you guys have seen those pictures of him, he looks like someone that needs to get traded because he's fat because he looks like he's ready to play fullback. I don't know what he's been doing, but I don't know. Luka Doncic looks skinny to me, so I hope he gives Dallas 50 points tonight. I hope the Lakers win by like 25. I don't know if I'll bet on the game, but I'll definitely be watching. FanDuel does have a 50% profit boost for the game. I think it has to be at least like a 3-leg parlay, though, with plus 100 or greater odds. So maybe I'll put something together and I'll tweet it out just to use the profit boost. I'll look into that later. But yeah, I hope Luka just dominates tonight. That would just be so good. As far as college basketball goes, winner yesterday, we had Michigan money line. That was my only play. I wanted to take Houston when I saw that McMillan, Texas Tech, basically they had been missing a couple guys, and it seemed to me like they didn't play over the weekend so that they would play versus Houston last night, but that wasn't the case as they did not play last night. So once I saw that they weren't going to play, it moved a little bit. I think it was Houston minus 3.5 once I saw that they weren't playing. And I just didn't feel I definitely liked Houston a lot more, but didn't really want to lay that 3.5. Probably should have. I'm going to tell you guys right now for futures for college basketball, if you made me pick right now who I thought was going to win the title, I think I would pick Houston, to be quite honest with you guys. So I'm going to put in a future on them, I think, to win the title. I have outstanding futures. I only have 2 outstanding futures right now. I haven't even taken any national championship futures. I wish I would have taken Duke. Look, Duke is top to bottom the best team in college, in my opinion. I still think they could struggle a little bit just because they're going to be relying on a ton of young players and relying on a coach that, while John Shire was groomed for that job, he still really doesn't fit the criteria of college basketball coaches that have won a national championship in terms of how long he's been a head coach. So they're relying on a young coach. They're relying on a lot of young players, which can hinder you in a long tournament run, but they're still top to bottom the best roster. So I wish I would have taken them, preseason at like 10-1 or whatever, and just had that in the bank so that we could easily hedge that throughout the tournament, because the first few rounds, they're going to be such heavy favorites. It would be so easy to kind of hedge that. So I really wish I would have done that, but I've taken no national championship futures. I think Houston is going to be my first. I'm hoping that they're 8-1 somewhere. I see 750 on FanDuel. Bet 365 is probably the best bet. I'm going to look at that later, but I definitely want to put in a future on Houston to win the title. My only 2 futures right now I've taken are St. John's to make the Final Four. I've taken that 2 times. So I took that earlier on in the season, and then I just took it again a few days ago at 6-1. FanDuel has it at plus 460. I think you can still get 6-1 on Bet 365. So if you want to sweat along St. John's to make the Final Four, best number is 6-1 on Bet 365. I'm pretty confident that St. John's is going to get a 2 seed. I'm pretty confident that they're going to get the Eastern region, and they're going to be playing essentially home games throughout the entire tournament. So I feel really good about them making a run. I don't know who the 1 seed. I haven't looked at a projected bracket. Let me see if I can. Let me see what someone has right now. So ESPN right now has So ESPN does not have St. John's in the East, which I think is interesting because I'm pretty sure they're going to get the East. But at the same time, the first round of the East is in Raleigh, so maybe Duke gets that East too. And I would prefer not to play Duke. Like, if everything went as planned, I would prefer not to play Duke in the Elite Eight. I'd rather play one of the other teams. Like, if Alabama gets a number 1 seed, I would rather St. John's play Alabama. Although it looks like Raleigh has the Midwest too, which goes through Indy. So maybe Duke could get the Midwest. I don't know. I don't know when this projected bracket I'm looking at updated, but it has St. John's as a 4 seed in the Midwest. I would be pretty surprised if they got a 4 seed. I thought they were more on the 2-3 range, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. That's just like what I thought. But in this projected bracket, it has Houston as the 2 seed, Alabama as the 1, St. John's. I would not want St. John's to get in Houston's region for my futures bets here. So hopefully that's not. Let me see if I can cross-reference that with another projected bracket. So let's look at CBS. So CBS has St. John's as a 3 in the South, up against like Texas A&M and Purdue, Marquette, Auburn. See, that's more along the lines of the region I would like St. John's to be in. I think they could run through there. So let's hope for that. That doesn't really show it in bracket like format though, which I don't like. Anyways, that was a long-winded way of me saying, if you want to sweat along with the futures bets, St. John's make the Final Four 6-1, and I took it earlier, but I'm not going to give it out as that because I didn't give it out as that. I just took it. So 6-1 for that. Michigan State, you can get 10-1 on them. That was the other team, but I don't know. I was feeling I can't figure out them because I was like really high on them like 2 months ago when I took it. Then I was kind of down on them. Then I was back on them. I'm kind of like neutral. I mean, I already took the ticket, so I'm kind of stuck with it. So if you guys want to sweat along with that, you take Michigan State 10-1 to make the Final Four as well. But I really like the St. John's one, and I'm hoping they get the 2 seed in that East region and don't face Duke. If they could get in there with an Alabama or an Auburn, I would feel much better. I also think like right now, I think Houston is like the safest team to make the Final Four. Like Duke is minus 140, Auburn's minus 155, Houston's plus 140. Houston's going to be a number 1 seed probably after that win last night. I don't know what the percentage chances of that is, but I'm sure it went up after that win last night. I would take them in terms of a safer bet over Duke and Auburn. Like I said, Duke's relying on a lot of young players and a young coach. Auburn is very, very good, but we literally just saw Auburn lose in the first round last year. Houston really doesn't do that. They've been pretty consistent in recent years, and I really love this team, man. We'll dive more into it when we get to the bracket, right? That's just a couple weeks away, and we'll have full bracket preview videos up. I'm sure I'll be making some maybe some guest appearances on some streams and with other people. So we'll talk about it. But I just really love this Houston team right now. So those are my futures bets. I want to take some more national championship futures now, though. So Houston's going to be my first one, and I'm going to look at some others. I'm hoping I would like Texas Tech to go on a little slide to see if we could get a better number for them. I'd be interested in taking them. I know Houston just beat them, but like I said, they've been shorthanded, missing guys. They shoot really well coached. They have a guy in Toppin that can take over a game. They're not the best defensively, but I think they're good enough defensively. So Texas Tech is one I'm eyeing, but I don't know. I feel like we can wait maybe and get a better number than 35-1. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I would like for them to lose a couple more games here down the stretch. That would be nice. All right, let's talk tonight though. I've taken 3 bets, and then there's another one I kind of like, but I haven't taken yet. First and foremost, I took Florida over Georgia. So Florida -6.5 over Georgia. First and foremost, Georgia just is not good. Just a very easy way of me saying it. They stink. Florida is very good. One of the 5 best teams in the country, in my opinion. Don't really care about like the road matchup overall. Both teams are pretty healthy. Florida already beat Georgia by like 30. So absolutely smoked them when they played earlier this season. Let me pull that up actually. The final score here. Ken Palm has Florida 4th overall. They beat Georgia 89-59. So yeah, literally by 30 on January 25th. Overall, I mean, Georgia struggled for the majority of the season. They've struggled against elite competition as well. And I think Florida has some pretty clear advantages over them, especially defensively. So I took Florida. I have this closer to like 9 for Florida. So I was completely fine laying that 6.5. That was my first bet. Second bet I took was Iowa State -9.5. So you can still get a 9.5 out there at a couple spots. FanDuel has it as 10.5. So I bet Kansas -14.5 against Oklahoma State over the weekend. And I have no issues just going back. I think Oklahoma State is terrible. They've beat essentially no good teams this season. They've lost to some really bad teams this season. They haven't really played well down the stretch. They could be getting some guys back there. They've been a little bit banged up. They could be getting some guys back in this game. But Iowa State is pretty high on my list overall. Ken Palm has them at eighth overall. They've also been a little bit banged up. They were banged up over the weekend against Houston. So hopefully they get some guys back. But even if they don't, I still think they can beat Oklahoma State by 10 without those guys. So Iowa State -9.5 was my second play. And then for smaller schools, I took App State on the money line. So I have this as App State -4. They're -1.5. I will say, though, I took this at -125 and it moved down to -114. So I took a bad line. So do with that information what you will. I took a bad line here. It moved against me, but I don't really see why it moved. Like, I don't think there was any injury news or anything. So I'm just going to rock with it. I might just, if it keeps moving, I might just rebet them. Because, like I said, I had a pretty sizable edge here. Georgia Southern's played very inconsistent as of late. And interesting that the public is pretty heavy App State here, it looks like. I don't know. I have App State by 4, so I played them. But if you don't want to take it because the line moved, I kind of understand. Kind of is what it is. That will happen. Although I will say, I just got back into the basketball betting, since the Super Bowl. But in football, in college, it seemed like anytime a line moved against me, we won. Like, I don't know. It was a weird year in college football. Anytime you got CLV, you lost. And towards the end of the season, I was hitting stuff and the line would move against me like significantly and then we would still win. So I have no idea really what's going on. I just want to be transparent with you guys that I took a -125 and you can get 10 cents better than that now. Other big games though, let's just look into them. Duke, Miami. I mean, Duke should win by 30. Should just absolutely wreck them. So I have no interest in laying a 22.5, but I also have no interest in betting against Duke. Providence, Marquette. Marquette has been like really suspect. I don't know why. or what their issue is. We kind of talked about it on stream last week. They should be a good 3-point shooting team, and they're just not. And I don't understand it. They're 248th in the country in 3-point percentage as a team, 32%, when they had multiple, I don't want to say 3-point snipers, but just like they have multiple good 3-point shooters on their team. I don't understand how they're shooting so bad. You would assume that should, regress at least a little bit. Like maybe the whole team doesn't shoot better, but the individuals that are historically good 3-point shooters should shoot better down the stretch. You would think that that's what will happen, but I don't know. I mean, we're pretty late in the season now. Like these teams only have 2-3 games left for conference tournaments. So I have no idea. I can't figure out Marquette. They're kind of on my no bet list for the moment just because I don't really trust that. And I don't understand why they're so bad at shooting. I can't explain it. So yeah, I'm just no interest in laying a 13.5 with them right now. Tennessee, LSU. Tennessee should win, I mean, pretty handily here. You guys know I hate Tennessee and I hate Rick Barnes, so I'm really just not looking to lay double digits with them. But I will say Zakai Ziegler has been unbelievable for this team. So good. I think Evan Mia has him. I think he's like a top 5 player in the country right now on Evan Miyakawa. Let me see if I can pull that up. Shout out to Evan Mia. If you guys don't use that website, definitely one of the best for college basketball. Yeah. So in their player rater, Ziegler's up to 5th overall in the country behind just Cooper Flagg, Janai Broome, Tugler from Houston. I mean, he's just played incredible. He's done everything for them. Cam Jones somehow is still 9th overall on this player rater for Marquette, despite just not shooting like he should. It's so crazy. I can't figure out why they're not better. Although I guess, like, I don't know. Marquette is so weird. Anyways, though, yeah, Ziegler's been so good down the stretch. I'm excited to watch him in the SEC tournament just with how good he's played recently. So that should be fun. Washington, Wisconsin. Dude, oh my God, we didn't even talk about this. We did not talk about Wisconsin yesterday. My only bet really that I missed on Saturday, it didn't matter anyways. It ended up not mattering, but we had like a money line parlay, 4 or 5 teams. Dude, Wisconsin was winning. I think they gave up a 15-2 run or something to end the game and went to overtime and lost against Oregon. Did anybody watch that game? Someone on Wisconsin, whether it be a player or a coach, owes the Mafia money. There is no other explanation for what they did. Not only did they blow a lead, they, at the end of the game, 2 or 3 times with under a minute left, they're still up by like 4 points at this point. Like they just can't inbound the ball. They just turn the ball over on an inbound. And then they never had another problem inbounding the ball the rest of the game, even in overtime. Somebody on this team owes somebody money. I'm going to pull it up. It was Saturday. They lost 77-73 in overtime. I need to know, like, so first of all, they were up by 12 at half, but there was a point in time with under like 3 minutes left. Okay, let's see here. Let's see what it got to. Let's go to 10 minutes here. So with 10 minutes left in the game, oh my God. So at 10:41, there was an official TV timeout, and Wisconsin was up 57-42. They're up by 15 points at this point. Okay? Even with, let's scroll down here. Even with 6 minutes and 15 seconds left, they're up 64-50. They're up 14 points. And then that seems to be when it changed. They go up 14, layup, and 1 free throw, layup, jumper, and then they finally made a layup. Even then, 3 minutes and 16 seconds left, they're up by 9. They scored with 3 minutes and 16 seconds left, and they did not score again for the rest of the game until overtime. Just, dude, that was one of the craziest things I've seen. And when stuff like that happens in college, you're mad about it, but at the same time, somebody owes somebody money. I have no other explanation. So I have them by like 17 in this game. I really don't want to bet on them after that, but I mean, I do see some value on the 14.5 at home against Washington. Probably not going to play it. Alabama should roll. Missouri should roll. And that's really it for the ranked games. But overall, for me, only took a couple bets today. I do like Baylor over Cincy. Cincy's pretty public here. 75% of the spread bets coming in on them. Or no, 60%. Sorry. 60% of the spread bets coming in on Cincy. I kind of like Baylor. I think Baylor's a better team, even though they haven't played up to that. We're kind of in desperation mode, though. They've lost 2 in a row. They have not lived up to expectations. And like I said, we're kind of getting to that point of the year where it's like they kind of got to figure it out. So I would lean Baylor plus 2.5 in that one. Haven't played it, but that's, I guess, the side I would pick personally. But yeah, that about does it for college today. I do have my tight end rankings up. So like I said, if you go to the blog, we have quarterback, running back, tight end up. The combine officially starts Thursday. I'm almost done with the wide receiver rankings. I'm just really trying to siphon through these last couple spots. So those will be up hopefully today. And I'm going to keep updating those throughout the pre-draft process. And then, we'll be doing some mock drafts when we get a little bit closer to the draft and all that stuff. So this is my tight end rankings right now. I think a lot of people will have Warren number 1. Both he and Loveland both should be first-round picks. In my opinion, they're both very, very good. I slightly prefer Loveland. And then Harold Fannin Jr., I feel like as analytical as I am, I'm a little bit biased towards him just because he grew up in my hometown and I've watched him in high school and stuff. But he's absolutely nasty. So I think a lot of the analytics people won't like Harold Fannin. He's pretty undersized for a tight end, but he's great after the catch. He can catch anything. He can run pretty well. He's a pretty good route runner. I mean, he just had an insane season at Bowling Green, and he lit up any of the good teams he played. The step up in competition was not an issue for him whatsoever. So I'm excited to watch him. I think he can contribute, right away as a rookie, as a receiver, and I'm excited to see him. So I'm pretty high on him. A lot of people, I saw like PFF doesn't even have Harold Finn in their top 5. I just think that's flat wrong. But I might be a little bit higher on him than consensus. But I'll get the wide receiver stuff done. We'll talk about that on stream tomorrow. We'll talk college basketball. We'll hopefully talk about LUKA dominating the Lakers. And then we'll talk golf as well, Cognizant Classic. And then Thursday, I won't be live. I told you guys, cruise Thursday through Monday. So tomorrow is last stream until next Tuesday. So, and I'll keep you updated on this Capra contest. I don't know. I'm talking to these people tomorrow. We'll see what they say. But overall, good luck with your bets tonight. Good luck with DFS tonight. I'll be live tomorrow, same time, same place. And I'll see you guys then.